Son, where'd you find this?
Don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any of the narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who acts like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico. They never lie.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll.
Yo. What's up? Hey, my apologies. I know I am. And I got distracted. I got a horror fetish. I know I shouldn't be looking at that stuff, but I got caught up for a second. We here though, man. Happy Monday. Peace, blessings, glory, praise, honor to the Most High. Let me bring this up here real quick. Get them names right. Put some respect on the names. Rob, I appreciate you, bro, for your patience, man. My apologies for the absence, man. How you feeling? How was your weekend? What's the word?
Oh man, happy Monday, man. Good. Relaxing.
Relaxing is always good. We just gonna go ahead and bring this right up on the big screen, man. Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels is a famous bodyguard, I guess. He married a supermodel, and the internet is kind of bashing him and really digging in that man's personal space, calling him all types of names. You name it, from the most polite to the worst of the worst. I got a clip. I have more than one, but I have one in particular that I'm going to play that kind of highlights exactly why we're here. So I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to let this play, and then we just want to go straight to the footage.
You see old viral clips from Rampage stream. We have, that's so funny. First of all, people writing like, I'm feeling him touching my hair, whatever.
Are you?
Huh?
Are you?
I mean, he's fine, but no, he's not my type, for sure not. He was very nice. And
yeah, I noticed that. She didn't say no.
No, I just said, yeah, he's okay, but no, like, he's not my type. Larry giving her the death stare. I mean, all due respect to him, I like older guys. Like, I like them my age, or he's a bit younger than me. He's a couple years younger than me. So.
What do you mean, guys? There's only one guy for you to like.
No, but I mean, like, in general, like, if I find somebody attractive, then yeah, it's definitely not.
You find other men attractive besides me?
I mean, I can acknowledge somebody looks good. Did you see?
All right, so look, this is what we got here, man. This clip is in response to a interaction between Rampage and another gentleman, right? In the other video, Rampage is talking to this guy, and she's standing there giving off the impression and the indications that she's interested or she's trying to get his attention. You fast forward, you go down a couple of more clips. There's another one. Maybe I can find it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't know if it's this one.
I don't care what y'all see. Lil Baby.
No.
What I'm about to say.
I don't care.
I'll rate him. I mean, he's a 10.
A 10?
He's a 10.
What?
He's a 10.
So what am I? From what I see in the memes, girls goon over him.
I could not fault him physically. The way he looks, I cannot find anything I would say, oh, you know, he needs to improve. What does it get better? Like, you know, I mean, I can't fault him. He's a young guy. He looks good. I think he's tall. I don't know how tall is he. He has a perfect face.
Perfect face.
He does. Like, he has a good jawline. He has good nose. Everything is perfectly balanced. So
You won't be collabing with it, sounds like.
I'll rate him. I mean, he's a 10. I can, but it's Myron. He says, I see trouble in a rose. And that was like the second or third time he DM'd me and sent his message because I never replied. And at that time, this was like, I don't know, a year after we got engaged, and I had our engagement picture on a profile, and he's still trying to slide in my DMs. I can, but it's Myron. He said,
So what you're saying, if I didn't have money and status and I approached you, I would have gotten left on scene.
Yes.
Or maybe an unopened message in your DM.
Yes. I dated once a brokey, lost 4 years in my relationship of my life.
So what you're saying, if I didn't have money.
All right, I'm gonna stop there. You get the point. So he married this woman. He didn't get a prenup, and the internet is coming for him, man. What are we doing here, man? Is he foolish for not getting a prenup? What are we doing with these men who make all of this money? Matter of fact, let me rephrase that. How do you feel about guys who aren't used to being around women? They come into this fame and fortune, and then they get a taste of success. They start to dress nicer. They start to ride around more fresh. They start getting introduced to the type of female that they could never really attract before. Now they're getting them. And you keep seeing these stories of these females, man. They pretty much shitting on them every chance they get. They don't respect them. They don't really be there for the reasons that they want them to be. But they're getting upset with the internet because the internet is seeing it from the outside looking in, saying, bro, what are you doing? Wake up. Like, what did you see from this clip, man? How do you feel about that? Jason salutes. Oh, the whole thing.
Shout out, Chef. I got you right here. You always in the mix, baby. See, real quick. Give them their flowers. I don't know how much of it is scripted. I know that men do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? We we'll look and be like, yo, look at shorty, da 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 da. Ask our girls to look at shorty, da 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 da. And then if you got a girl that's self-aware, she'll look with you. So I don't know how much of that is scripted, but that's wild. It ain't. I mean, she just being honest. It seemed like as long as you ain't cheating. But it said that she cheated or whatever. So if that's the case, because money can't unlame you. Matter of fact, the biggest thing about the money is whatever you was before that, it just brings it all the way out. You know what I'm saying? So um, it's one thing to be talking and acting on it. So now if she's talking, that's one thing. Because like I said, it'll be a double standard if we ain't admit that men do it all the time. But if she's acting on it, then he's cooked. You know what I'm saying? She's not for him.
I hate social media sometimes because you get influencers and folks that got blue checks and they're a regular to the audience, like them. That's like a household name for a lot of you. So instinctively you see their name pop up on your timeline, you're gonna go and watch and click and see what they're doing because you want to know if it's going to be an exciting day, if it's going to be educational, if it's going to be drama. And what I dislike about these is, like you said, you don't know sometimes if this is legitimate or not, or if this is just for an act. It's just performative because I have to provide you guys with a service. What does that service look like? Well, for some people, y'all might like slapstick comedy. For other people, you might want to see someone dance for the next 10, 15 minutes. Some of you might like to see men and women argue with each other for an hour. And so it's like you see stuff like this, and it's like, all right, is this another one of those fake internet couples that's really, they have no contribution whatsoever other than, all right, he's a bodybuilder, she's a model, and blah, blah, blah. It's the same Barbie and Ken shit. If any of that is real, which if I'm going to go off of that, you've seen it once, you've seen it 1,000 times, right? The rich guy gets the beautiful body made up girl, or the gym rat. Both of them are gym rats. They love attention. They love being in front of the camera. So by societal standards, it makes sense. But the whole time, I get the impression that she's not necessarily into him the way that he thinks she is. And I think he knows that. And if he doesn't know that, then I think it's bullshit that he's pretending as if he doesn't know. Now, if he's just only going along with this whole storyline that, oh, she's using me for this, that, that, third, I think that's corny as hell too. But she said in another clip, and this is why I be thinking this shit is just troll. She said in another clip, she wants her daughter to be a gold digger. Word for word. I am going to raise my child to be a gold digger. Light bulb went off in my head. Either she's doing this for clicks and views, or she really means what the hell she's saying. Because she just admitted here, oh, nah, I wouldn't fuck with you if you didn't have the money. So it's like, all right, well, so what are we doing with that? it's sad, man. It's like, my brother, you don't have the self-esteem, you don't have the confidence to meet somebody that actually is going to pour into you the way that you would like. What is it with people wanting to be with IG models and like, I don't understand that shit.
Everybody want a baddie, man. Talking about, man, you know, you was a kid, man. Everybody wanted a baddie. If you didn't wake up, or if you wasn't raised by militant or let's say pro-black people, a lot of times you wanted a different. You wanted a white chick or you wanted an Asian. You know, I remember the bros, and I was in that stage for a certain point too, bro. I was like, well, I'm gonna get an Asian like I went to war, or you know, until you learn that self-love. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of what, you know, your first dream all the time is to have a dime piece by your side. So with that, you know, I don't know, I can't really see her or whatever, but it appears that he got a little baddie, you know, and a lot of times she's seemed like she's high maintenance or whatever and feisty, you know what I'm saying? So probably look good, and then definitely for the camera, that make them look real good. You know what I mean? So, like I said, for the show's sake or whatever, you could talk. You know, to me, it's no different from, say, I'm watching a movie with my lady, and we watching Denzel. You know what I'm saying? She gonna probably be looking like, oh, yo, that's Denzel right there, like, woo, woo, woo. And it would be the same if I was watching a movie with, it say, Halle Berry. Be like, oh, she bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, we know where we coming. We know what we going home to. You know what I'm saying? I probably wouldn't necessarily go as far to be on camera and be like, well, you know what? Halle Berry was that joint. I would try to talk to her or rather, like, I ain't gonna, you know what I mean? Be disrespectful like that. But at the same time, you know, just they I guess she appeared to be honest, you know what I'm saying? Clearly she liked the bros. And if all of that gold digger stuff, you know, we talked about that last week or a couple weeks ago. Can't remember exactly, but I ain't never had a whole lot of money. I never had. I still have yet to cash a check. Like the checks that's sitting in my head anyway. They in my head. In my head, I'm a multi-millionaire. And I'll speak it into existence for the show, you know, right here, because I'm sure working on it. But at the same time, if that's what you're with me for, because I got a little paper, then it ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Because my uncle used to tell me all the time. He used to say, "Yo, you can only do certain things for about 4 or 5 hours a day at the most. After that, what are you going to talk about when the joy runs out, when the fun is over? What is going to be the conversation? What is going to be the plan? What is going to be the teamwork? What are you going to be doing?" And it's the same for money. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the money ran out, would you still love me? And if the answer is no, then that ain't your one. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. And I understand, you know, you gotta be a provider. You know what I mean? But money come and go. So at the end of the day, you know, if she's just with him for that, then she's cooked and he's cooked, because after a while, once you get, you know, you go around going around, ain't nobody gonna want her no more. And eventually he'll wise up, you know what I'm saying, and disassociate himself with that, because when you're dealing with people like that, if that's the case, because like I said, I don't know them, then it's a never ending hole. It'll never be enough. It's never enough. It's never enough. So you walking around frustrated, you know, all because she's pretty and she think that she can change the weather.
The whole idea that your life is going to change for the better just because you lock in with somebody with money, it always interests me how some people's minds work, considering I've seen time and time again that that shit does not necessarily work for everybody. In fact, I I don't think I've really seen too many people in Hollywood or in the industry successfully navigate the perils of a relationship, um, and made it through it unless they stayed off of camera. Like you don't, you know that they married, but they hardly ever are out in public where paparazzi is in their face, or they're on social media constantly uploading their entire life up there. What I do keep seeing is celebrities, athletes, commentators, anybody with that type of visibility. I see them going to court for child support, going to court for some type of domestic abuse, or getting some type of charges on them because of something that just always ends up in like violence or something. Or they get divorced after 5 6 months, and everybody for the first couple weeks was looking at them like, oh, this is going to be the greatest couple ever. We're so happy for you. And yeah, girl, see, I need me a man like that. That's what a man is. A man is somebody who spends a whole year's salary on me in a day and this, that. And you see that really we've gotten to the point where this shit is about money, it's transactional. Nobody's really there for the person. And as honest as she is, it would hurt my soul to know that I married somebody who, first of all, you rating other men on live stream, you talking about you gonna raise your daughter to be a gold digger. I'm sitting right next to you. You really think that as the father here, I'm about to allow you to turn her into you? I just feel secondhand embarrassment, man, listening to her talk. And if she was so honest and he found out all this stuff before he said I do, then that just means, man, that is I don't feel bad for him at all. Like if that was the conversation beforehand and like they already knew what he was getting into and he still agreed to it, then it is what it is. He chose that. But if you're telling me she just now started to come out with this, that's something else. And for whatever reason, these dudes keep on consistently and persistently chasing after these type of women, man. And the usury spirit is upon these folks, man. Bad.
Yeah, I mean it ain't nothing new. They just put it on social media. It's like what Pimp C said. It ain't dead. It just moved to the net. I'm a piggyback off what Chef said. I don't know too many other coaches really that just love the bros like that to where they love them. I know about 5 people, 5 women that genuinely love us. For the most part, like Chef said, it'd be a lick. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna catch me one. Da 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 da. Well, they want that DNA because they know from Henrietta Lacks. They know, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I gotta be as politically correct as possible. But it's not a lot of time it don't be like that. And then we remember we talked about that you get like 3 loves in your life, and you could get you one of them or two of them be wild and one of them be stable. You know what I'm saying? So clearly, she might be with him for stability, and he might know that. He might, you know what I'm saying? He might know that, so he might not even care. Just be like, yo, you know what? This is what it is. Da 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 da. And then when it comes to entertainers, a lot of times they marry for entertainment purposes. You know what I'm saying? That'd be like their low power. They know, okay, I'm gonna lock in your fan base. You're gonna lock in my fan base, and we're gonna keep it popping like that. That's what it appears. You know what I'm saying? The sad thing is that what it really appears is that they can't have positive relationships with people who love them unconditionally because of certain things that they possess. That's sad because, you know, we look at these people and look and say, dang, they got everything I want. They got it together. They got it together. Da, 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 da. And then you realize they be walking disasters. And we forget a lot that they got feelings and emotions too. And clearly, a couple times from those little clips I see, he was looking uncomfortable. Like, wow, you're just going, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if it's for clickbait, it's for clickbait. And at the end of the day, for the sake of communication, I'd rather you tell me. If anything, I'd rather you express your feelings so that I could know what you're dealing with. That way, it don't happen behind my back. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, like I said, men do it all the time. We do it all the time. We not a lot of times we watching movies, we watching this, we watching that, we looking to see who's beautiful. Okay, who's this? Da 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 da. And in a lot of cases we able to do it, but if they do it, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Now it's like, oh, it's a travesty. It's a national emergency. If they do it, it's just like a lot of times a man will sleep around on his girl, his wife, whatever, and then the minute she even flirt, all she got to do is flirt, and now he ready to put her head through the pavement. You know what I'm saying? So it's a double standard. It's a lot of stereotypes that go with that. You know what I mean? And she did it. What we see a lot of times on camera is them of different cultures disrespecting the bros in a lot of cases, and they don't do nothing about it. You know, and in our case, a lot of times we want what we can't have. So with that, you know, if that's how she feel, I hope that's not the case when they turn the cameras off. If that's his wife, I hope, you know, they're able to admit those things, because when you what did Steph Curry wife say? She said she liked to feel attractive. She liked when the guys is coming at her or whatever. That don't mean necessarily to me that she cheated or whatever, or she's willing to cheat. It's just that, you know, for him, they probably throwing it at him all day long, every day, throwing probably in the hotel rooms. He can't get no peace. So that was her way to get attention or whatever. But and what I guess what I'm saying is everybody probably want to feel attractive, not disrespected, but attractive.
I can't speak for nobody else, but I'm gonna say, just off of the response to you and Chef, to put in all that discipline, all that time, all that training, save up all that money, earn all of these deals, make all of these connections with different men and women out here in whatever field it is that I decide to pursue. I would understand how weak my flesh could be. It's like, we've been around this earth probably around the same amount of time. I might have a little more time than him or a little less. So I can't necessarily say we've all experienced exactly the same stuff, but I've seen way too much to think that after all of this time and all this pain that I've put in, that I wouldn't be able to recognize the Delilah spirit. I wouldn't be able to recognize the usury spirit, the one who only has the intentions of coming into your world, tearing everything apart, and taking what they can get before they like, nah, nah. And I can admit, when you got traumas and you have insecurities and low self-esteem, and you're not really focused on the things that matter, it's easy to get distracted, and it's easy to have manipulators run your life. It's easy to have narcissists in your life. It's easy to be like in this situation where you think that they're your friend the whole time. They have other motives. They're there to help their team out. They there to benefit off you, and then once they get in position to take over from wherever you left them, then they can go ahead and make their exit. I think we're too old not to know the difference. Especially, I always thought, especially men, to be that successful, you got to have some type of common sense. Or is it just sheer luck? I mean, because if a pretty or attractive woman pops up wanting to speak to me, and I come into all of this wealth, your notoriety, I'm going to question everything. I'm going to question your friendship. I'm going to question your intentions. I'm not about to sit here and just open my legs or unzip my pants and have sex with every single person that I see out here just because they got a fat ass and a nice chest. It was something else you had said too, the double standard part. I don't even see double standards. They exist. I don't believe in them. I think it's trifling on both sides, on men and women's side. Because if you think about it, we both cheat. We're both selective about what we're attracted to and what we want and what we can get away with versus the other person. But when we practice these secular things and we put them into motion, we don't really get nowhere. We don't get the results that we expect we're going to get. They always backfire in our face. Always. So she's chasing after money. She gets the money. Does that mean she's going to be happy? He's using her for her body. Does that necessarily mean he's going to be happy?
Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, all right, what I notice is like with Cardi B, for example, and Offset and them, the way they be moving, all they end up doing is ending up baby mamas, baby daddies, separated in broken homes. And it's like a repeated cycle. And what you're telling the people is, it's okay to be dysfunctional as long as you got money.
Yeah, I mean, first, where you coming from, a lot of times you're able to mature like that from two ways. Like I said, you got people that listen, and then you got people that go through it and start listening. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know if he was sheltered. You don't know if he has self-esteem issues. You don't know how he feel about himself when he look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? So he might say, that's all I wanted was a baddie. You don't know with her, like I said, once the camera come on, right, you turn into somebody else to a certain extent. And nowadays, you gotta be selling drama. You know, you don't have to, but rarely do you see somebody go viral for putting something positive. So again,
Bang, 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 bang.
the clickbait is real. You know what I mean? And you know, if they smart, they'd be like, hey, you know what? We had this conversation, da 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 da. We're gonna put it on as soon as they get on, as soon as they press play. This right here, we're gonna wake up, boom, we viral. You got all the engagement. Now you can get your monetization. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know what it's like trying to get monetized. Especially on a lot of these companies, they're making it damn near impossible. You know what I mean? But from your perspective, it sounds like you went through a lot. It sound and you know, or you listen. You know what I'm saying? You probably had somebody good in your ear that said, "Hey," to where you was able to be chast. You were able to, let's say, not be promiscuous. You value your life. You know what I mean? Um, so with them, I don't know, like you said, how old they are or whatever, but he probably feel lucky, you know? And at the end of the day, some people do it. You know what I'm saying? They marry for money. Like this is nothing new. It's just the way that it's promoted. It's the way that they present it now to act like it's something that's we just doing right now. People been marrying money. The men do it, the women do it. You know what I mean? The question to me would be, are you happy? You know what I'm saying? And ideally, if y'all just having fun and y'all know that y'all love each other and y'all not in violation or whatever, that conversation gonna come up, because this is what people get twisted a lot of times when people get married. They a lot of times you think that they're not the same people. They're supposed to give up all this and they're supposed to give up all that and this and that, da da da. I would be hard pressed to think that people that's married don't take time every once in a while to think about their exes, or I don't. It's people. It's so many people be hollering because a lot of times the wild thing, people don't holler at you until you get married, which is weird. A lot of times when you get in a relationship, nobody wanted you till you was in a relationship, and then now they see how you treat the other person, and now they want a piece of that. And then most of the other side, they want to just sabotage it. They just Some people like toxicity. They like to just sabotage stuff. I'm gonna bother you now that you're in this relationship to mess your stuff up just to see because I'm unhappy. I want you to be unhappy. I'm jealous of the person you would or you. So we just gonna, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to tell your whole situation, right? But people still have feelings. You know what I'm saying? They still have feelings. You could joke. They joke about it all the time. When you look at the TV shows that I'm drawing a blank with, where it'd be like, oh, I would have got the, you know, the actor, the male would be like, I would have got with her if you wasn't there, da 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 da. But then at the end of the episode, it'd come back where, you know, I really love you. So, you know, you can't. A lot of times why marriages mess up is because people are not able to be honest. People are jealous. You know what I'm saying? So if it's real love or whatever, that little talking ain't gonna hurt nothing. If it's scripted, boom, we're gonna do this for the camera and come home. But I think we lose that element to where say, okay, I'm still the same person. I'm just, you know, I just got a family to take care of. I decided to make this commitment. You know what I mean? Now to the flip side of that, okay, if you marry somebody and you constantly thinking about somebody else, then you got a problem. And it's just a matter of time before that falls apart. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be mature and go through it to learn to start looking at the bigger picture. Because again, we talk about the honeymoon stage and all of this, and a lot of times with the first 2 weeks or the first 2 years, everything is all sweet, everything is all Gucci, and it's all fun. But then when you make that commitment, now you in the dumps because you feel trapped. You can't go nowhere. So I would hate for like what you're saying, exactly what you're saying, Deep, is that okay, I married you, but I don't really like you. That's a miserable situation. You know what I'm saying? That'll be a miserable situation. And then that could be too, it could be a flip side for him to where he's like, man, what did I get myself into? You know, that would be a problem. But I think a little talking or whatever, saying how you really feel, that wouldn't bother as long as you're not acting on it. You know what I'm saying? Because again, everybody have their celebrity crushes, whoopty whoop. You're watching these movies, you're watching these TV shows. The men do it. The men like look at the. That's why they dress them like that. That's why they promote that. And then the females is looking like, oh, look at da 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 da. I'm sure you know they watching. What's his name? What's his name? Michael Ealy or somebody like Tay Diggs. You know what I'm saying? That's what they go into the movie for. Like, oh, what's his name? Morris Chestnut. You know, you can't if you sitting with your girl watching, you be a fool to think that she not enjoying watching Morris Chestnut. You know what I'm saying on the big screen. You be, you know what I mean? And you know when you got somebody that love you, they gonna say something like, "Oh yeah, he that guy, whatever." But you know who I love, and it's the same for the males. You gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that's that." You know what I mean? That's that joint. Like if back in the days, and still to this day, Mary J. Blige. If you look, I'm looking at like she is beautiful to me. You know what I'm saying? Since whatever, but at the same time, not beautiful enough for me to ruin what I got. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference. But again, we a lot of times society looks at it lopsided. And in the case, the question would be, now what if he got on there and said, "Oh, I'm looking at," like you said, Cardi. Ooh, Cardi is bad. I can't. Da, da, da. Would she be up in arms like, "Oh, I can't believe you"? Da, da, da. Would she be ready to lead the stream? Let's see if that's the case.
I think bro is definitely going to need some therapy after this. Like when it's all said and done and the smoke clear, if this is real and this is legit and it's not just camera, lights, production team, and auction. If it's really what that was, yeah, he's definitely going to need to recover because I'm still waiting on someone to prove that being superficial and secular in any type of capacity when it comes to a relationship works better than doing things the old fashioned way. A man, you want a trophy wife? You got one. But at what cost? See, there's always a sacrifice. You giving up something for it. You know how many women look like her? It's about the character of the person. I'm too old to be trying to have crushes on celebrities and just like I'm 40 plus, my nigga. I'm not crushing on nobody no more. You scroll social media enough, the timeline from Instagram to Facebook, you learn very quick that the objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. And these people are not what you thought they were. I used to have a thing for Scarlett Johansson and Shakira. Sofia Vergara, and all. And then the older I got, and the more I started to see come out about these people, man, I was instantly turned off by it because I'm not looking at your physical appearance no more. I require more. I need something deeper, more complex. And I'm so grateful that I didn't jump out here into the world naked, lacking any type of understanding about G14 classified. You know what I'm saying? These men and these women, they live solely for the world. If I can offer you this, then that means that I have a bargaining chip. That means that I am of some type of importance. I have the numbers to prove it. So you should invest in me because I have this to support why my value means more than this person's value. Absolutely not. Epstein files and every other clip that's being shown on the internet has shown me that nobody is better or bigger than the next person. Everybody has their stuff. But for a guy to have all that money, and you got all of that muscle and all that, you got to be one of the most inadequate pursuers of the opposite sex I've ever met in my life. Anybody who is you anybody who can just throw their money around and think that they're going to get quality, you're not at a retail store. You're not at Walmart. You're not on Amazon shopping. You can buy you a nice vacuum cleaner that does the job. You can get you a snowblower that cleans your front yard and clears your driveway. You can get some quality paint. You can buy you a good app that does whatever you need to do. You cannot buy character. You can't. I'm sorry. Enjoy fucking jewels. And whoever is pushing that narrative out there, they're drunk. They high. They on something. I've never seen it work. Never.
I mean, you know, money don't buy love, money don't buy happiness, right? But it could buy some comfort that could make you happy, give you some time to think that could make you happy. A lot of times to get your physique like that, he probably felt some kind of way about himself anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because some people will look at that and be like, yo, wow, he's the man. And then some people will look at that and be like, man, he can't even touch his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no telling, you know, whatever he went through to make him, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know, if it's not for the camera, he could have found his one. You know what I'm saying? Because there's somebody for everybody. You know what I mean? So you're talking from a woke perspective, and that's understandable that where those things don't woo you. You know what I mean? And that's good. You know what I'm saying? But again, a lot of times people still gonna marry for stability. Like we've heard people say, as long as a woman is packing certain equipment, she should never be broke. We had this conversation a couple of weeks ago where the men is gonna pay. They're gonna pay. You already know it's just the way you decide to pay. Are you that guy that's just gonna put the money on the counter, or are you that guy that's gonna wine and dine and go to the movies and cuddle and take a walk in the park? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you're still paying, because guess what? If you ain't paying with no money, you're paying with time. And the question is, does that person appreciate it and appreciate you? Right? So with that, we could go all the way down the rabbit hole to say, hey, man, she disrespecting that man, da 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 da. Or we could look at another way and say, you know what, she just being honest. And if he's secure, say, hey, I hear you talking, but you know what's up. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, when the camera come off, you're gonna see. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna say, hey, or they're gonna show it, because actions speak louder than words. You could talk all day, but they're gonna show if they love you or not. You know what I'm saying? So for clickbait, we gotta keep this popping. Yeah, let's throw some controversial stuff on there. Let's get this attention that we need. Look at them. You know, they bought it. They bought it. And then at the same time, they're young too. So now, you know, the young, like Chef said a minute ago, the OGs, our elders, they ain't play all that. You couldn't da. But you know, you look at it all the time. Look at Al Bundy. That's aging me. Look at all the husbands in all of these sitcoms that we watch, and their wives will make them miserable. Archie Bunker, their wives will make them miserable, but that was still the one that they chose. You know, the camera's rolling, man. When that camera start rolling, you don't know what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And some people open about it, some people not. In their case, I would rather them be open about it, because like I said, I would hate to be with somebody and their mind is always on somebody else. That just makes, and then here I got, don't let me get some money. And now I finally got the means to take care of you and you still don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because you could go out and get anybody with money, you know what I mean? Or, you know, the question is, if I'm sick, are you going to hold me? Are you going to get me my medicine? Are you going to get me to the hospital? If I'm down, are you going to try to help me get up? Or if I got a dream, you know, are you going to help me achieve my dream? And then the same for vice versa. Am I going to do that for my person? And that's where you know if you're in love or not. A lot of times too, for relationships, once the public get in it, it just be a mess. So you know how you deal with that. Like I said, if they got a viral show, you know, in this case with people like drama, how else are you gonna stay viral if you ain't got some kind of drama?
Yeah, it's sad, bro. For men and women, I want to touch on both in different regards here. Shout outs to everybody on IG, first of all, that's watching right now. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. But I want to say this, man, and we've talked about this a lot. It's important. No matter how good it look, doesn't matter how much they flaunt it in front of the camera, you cannot buy happiness. It's temporary. It's a band-aid. It only lasts for so long. But as long as you're missing something internally, you will never be satisfied. We've been told that our dreams will come true if we have everything that we could ever ask for on this planet. But we weren't told what the trade-off is. So, all right, you've given me the world. The world don't like us, though. The world is fickle, temporary. One day, you everybody's favorite. The next day, they hate you. They want you canceled. One day, you're the love of their life. The next day, they can't stand the way you breathe next to them in the bed. Or you're not consistent enough. The world is not set up to move the way that we want it to move. We've been told that we're supposed to have this and have that. But what does this and that look like to you individually. Men and women who chase after superficial things in the other person always end up hurting themselves the most. It never, ever ends well. But we gotta be with somebody. It don't matter if we settling or we just feel like we deserve it because, well, I waited long enough. Nah, yeah, people want love. People want to be taken care of. People want to feel special. Yeah, men want to be nurtured. They want that soft femininity around them. We Anybody who say they don't want to be married, they're probably lying. We just messed everything up. Ladies, if you want a husband or you want a solid relationship, you're going to have to get your house in order first. That goes beyond these TED Talks and listening to your favorite girlie on YouTube or wherever. You're going to have to get your own self in order, get your attitude right. The fellas, too, because true leadership does not necessarily mean that his bank account is predominant in that whole situation. And just because that woman is shaped like something you've seen only in movies, that does not mean that she's going to be quality. We got to get out of our head with this flesh stuff, man. Let me read what Imagination said over on IG real quick, and I'll turn it over to you if you want to respond to him or anything I said. Yes, relationships are hard. I've been single 14 years because my ex broke my heart, my trust too. Once that's broke, it's so hard to find it again. Yeah, that's exactly why it's so important to pour into yourself first. Pour into yourself first. Know what direction you're going in with your life. Make sure God is present there. Make sure that you know without a shadow of a doubt that nothing can deter you from what you're doing, even if it don't work out with the person. So you don't ever get played like that. I think most people get played because they too distracted. You got too much of your attention and focus on the other person when there should be a balance. He said, I think my ex was just wanting best of both worlds. She loved me, but she wanted others too. That was hard. Jealousy is so horrible, unjustified. Then we look like the bad ones. Yeah, nah, bro. Nah. Your partner can't want you and another person. It don't work like that. If you still straddling the fence and looking outside, and you said it earlier, Rob, if you even think, like, as far as I'm concerned, if you even got a crush on somebody else, yeah, we got a problem. You ain't mine. I don't think anybody really belongs to another person. We just choose to be there.
Bro, I'm gonna say this, man. Self-love is the best love. If you can't be okay and happy with yourself in your own skin by yourself, then you're not ready for a relationship. Also, old habits die hard. So if you're doing the same things in every relationship, and that they're not working out, a lot of times it's you. You know, we project. Everybody's crazy but us. Everybody, I was all in those stages where I was the smartest person, everybody else was dumb, and I found out I was the dumbest person in the world. And then third, the people for you, they're gonna show you. The one for you, they're gonna show you. It's one thing to joke, definitely another to joke when the camera come on, but the person that love you is gonna show you with behavior. When you love that person, you're gonna show them with behavior. People make mistakes all the time. You know what I'm saying? But when you find that one person you love, you're gonna show it, and you're gonna make sure that the world know it, and you're gonna make sure that that person knows it, whether you joking or not. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, know with that case, but I know that when again when you got that person, you know that's that person. You might fall short sometime, but you're gonna do everything you can to show up to let that person know that you the one. And hopefully, the question is, do they feel the same way about you? And how you know that is in their behavior. Um, People joke all the time. I'm thinking right now on the Martin Lawrence show, all of the antics that they went through, but then remember towards the end, the last 20, 30 episodes was how he was trying to get Zen so he could be able to take care of Gina. You know what I mean? He was trying to get it together and begging. She was done with him by that time, but at the end of the day, he had finally got it together. So maybe I don't know, but it's a TV show. But once you grow up, and I know for a fact, once you find that person, you ain't gone. And if you, again, unless y'all got an open relationship, if you say you love that person and you gonna marry that person, if you do that and you're still thinking about other people, as far as maybe it could have been like this or it could have been like that, or I'm gonna give this a couple years and see how it goes before I do. Nah, you setting yourself up for failure. You know what I'm saying? Your human element is still going to be there, but at the same time, you before you're not even going to deny it. You're going to say, you know what? All that outside is tempting. It looks great. It's wonderful, fantasy, whoop-de whoop. But at the same time, I got mine, and I'm gonna do everything to protect my home. And I'm not gonna ruin my for sure thing for something I don't know. And then when you step outside, especially knowing when you get to our age, you ain't gonna let nobody throw you off course because they're gonna come. They're gonna come. That's just a natural, and that go for both sides. You know what I'm saying? They gonna your girl go to work, they at her. Your girl at the gas station, they at her. She in the mall, they at her. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she bad. You know what I mean? But the good thing is that if you love yourself and you know that she loves you, you don't have to worry about that. And then when you grow up from a male perspective, okay, that's right. They could be at whatever they want. I ain't finna fool around. I'm not finna do nothing to violate our bond. I'm not pillow talking. You're not finna have me out here looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? Because I confided in you or I thought. Because that's the first thing people say all the time. Oh, I ain't trying to ruin what you got or whatever. I'm just trying to, bump that. And you learn too at the end of the day, the most crippling thing is for that person that you love to say they don't trust you no more. Ooh, that's like the worst feeling when you done messed up and they look at you and say, you know what? I don't believe nothing you say no more. If that don't make you get right, then nothing will. Then you might not need to be. You know what I'm saying? So if you mess up, you get a second chance. Whatever you do, you gotta hold it together. You found that person that sometimes you have those boring spells or whatever, but you got to get in there and find out what you're doing to make it boring and strike that chord. And a lot of times when you find that person, when you wake up in the morning, you be happy. You be like, you know what? I could have did this, that, da, 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 da. I could have been anywhere in the world, but I'm glad to be here. And when you got that good feeling, then that's something to hold on to.
Larry Wheels, I feel sorry for you, brother. So I don't think this is it. And I don't think you were equipped for this at all, bro. Think you walked into something that you just weren't prepared for. You ain't get a prenup. She openly says she want her kid to be a gold digger. She told you right in your face on camera, if the money wasn't here, this would have never happened. That should have been all you needed to know right there. Marriage over at that point. Even though she said, well, you had the money, so I'm with you. But if you lost the money now, I'd still be with you. She's lying. She's lying her ass off, bro. But I wish her the best. I don't want to speak negative over it, but yeah, this ain't looking too good for you, fam. I ain't gonna hold you. Um, shout out to Chef. Shout out to everybody who pulled up on IG. I see y'all in the building, man. Um, yeah, I was kicked off IG for like a little over a year. They finally let me back on, so you're gonna see more of me, man. Blessings to everybody. Rob, appreciate you for pulling up. Uh, enjoy the rest of your week. Y'all be safe on the road if you gotta leave out for anything. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, Lord willing. Y'all be easy.